And for those of you who are just sitting at a desk somewhere in front of your computer, have your feet down. Oh, you can actually also be sitting on your chair in a cross-legged position, but if your feet are down, don't cross your ankles or anything. Just have them about a hips width apart. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. And then just imagine that string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just lengthen the spine. Shoulders over the hips. And just imagine your ears are aligned with your shoulders. It's not so easy as we get older, actually. And then bring your attention to the crown of the head and just relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the jaw, the ears, the temples, the back of the head. Relax the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down and relax the throat and the chest and the belly. And then just relax all of your limbs, without collapsing the body. And just breathe naturally, noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. Be aware if there are any sounds in your environment. Just allow those sounds to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. Just kind of have it in the back of the periphery of your mind. And then just notice the thoughts that are arising in the mind. And just examine them, just look at them objectively without sort of making up a story or following a story. Just take a step back. We can put ourselves on the bank of our river, just watching the quality of the water. The speed of the water. And just know that while you're sitting there, you're free from that river. So then bring to mind all the people of your life. So start with the ones you love very dearly, and then the ones you don't like so much, and then the strangers. And they all change place at any time. They can change place. And they're all equal in their wish to be happy. And their wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So I think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we went to see our very precious Geshe Dakpa on Monday. Or was it Sunday? I think it was Sunday. Yeah. And it seems to be that this Vajrasattva mantra is a cure-all for everything that you want to kind of purify. So, I mean, it's a highly respected, highly regarded mantra, this one that we're doing. So the fact that we're doing 28 each night, it's quite special. It's quite extraordinary, and it probably is impacting your mind stream maybe a little bit more than all of us actually realize. We create negativity with our mind, and so we can equally change that by creating positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret, sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any kind of future suffering. We know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want this future suffering. And so here we have this this image of Vajrasattva. So imagine this is the, they call it the Sambhogakaya aspect. So imagine this is what you're actually seeing. So you wouldn't just be seeing paint on canvas. You would be seeing like a hologram, a 3D image, radiating light and energy. So who am I going to turn to? This is who I'm turning to if I don't want to suffer. Were you turning to Vajrasattva for the methods, and we just treat them as medicine. And we're not needing any forgiveness. This is not like, confessional or anything. We're just using the methods that Vajrasattva is suggesting. So you imagine he's above the crown of your head. So just for a moment, just have a feeling or a sense of this Buddha, this light body above the crown of the head. And also not only just imagine the light body, but just imagine the energy of that holy being above the crown of your head. And you can also imagine this is your teacher, one of your teachers, manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. Has a beautiful radiant face, and his eyes are long, and they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart. The left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And there, being crossed, represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of someone you may have harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think of those who have harmed you and have compassion for them because they're going to suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And now we come to the remedy. So we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire being, filling your body completely. And it keeps pouring into you, and then it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So next is the purification of the speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, all of our inappropriate speech. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible that you could do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And next is a purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light, from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So just as when you walk into, when you walk into a room and it's dark, you switch on that light and it just dispels the darkness instantly. So I always think of this, I walk into a room, I think I'm going to switch on the light. And I think of, I don't think of it as dispelling darkness. But this is exactly what it's doing. And this is how to think when we imagine the light from Vajrasattva's heart hitting our heart chakra. It dispels all this light that comes, dispels all the negativity of the darkness of the mind, the darkness of the negativity of the mind. So all attachment and neediness and bitterness and anger and depression and anxiety, resentment, jealousy, all instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Ambhadrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dina Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. I'll just be delighted with all your delusions. And this is the source of all of our own suffering, and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech are completely purified. They're finished. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And imagine that Vajrasattva very happily again sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the mind. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So now feel you are completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to our omniscience have been removed. And now is the power of resolve and the fourth and final step in the purification process. So I hope you all were thinking about doing something good for yourself, rejoicing, being compassionate with yourselves, as well as thinking something that you would like to work on. And just keep it simple, whether it's, just 5 seconds of recognizing if you are engaging in negative self-talk, and then just maybe gently guiding yourself away from that, finding another way to talk with yourself, just for example. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. You can think my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate a little bit on emptiness. So you think in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. And just place your mind in that emptiness at whatever level you understand it for a moment. And we think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. Okay, so for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, just wish for him to have a long life and successful teachings in Bodh Gaya, for the the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and then for all your own teachers, wish for them to have a long life, happy life, stable life. Okay, everybody, lots of love. Thank you so very much. Thank you for hosting, you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.